Made a scapegoat. And finally, another chain of famous high street shops closed today, and with it went a part of modern British culture. Athena shops have sold posters to generations of young people since the 60s, anything from Che Guevara to Take That. Our business correspondent Mark Webster reports on what went wrong.
The last post for a name long synonymous with posters. Changing times and soaring rents replaced 70s icons like this one, which once lined a million bedsit walls, with millions in losses. Redundant staff were sad but not surprised.
Shocked, but it's one of those things. That's life, I'm afraid.
Can I ask you the same?
It's not really that unexpected, but we're all pretty shocked and shook up.
The doors shut here at 4 p.m. after the receivers failed to find a buyer for 130 stores. Though some 30 franchise holders hope to carry on trading for now, the Athena name looks set for oblivion.
The rents have been ridiculously high, but also the product mix is wrong. They've left the staff actually are very good, but they've let them down from head office. They've let the shop floor staff down.
Athena said it had tried its best to move with the times, but along with expressions like groovy and dig it, the company failed to find sufficient favour with a new generation. Mark Webster, News at 10, Central London.
Will bedsits ever be the same again? From all of us here, good night.
Hello, good evening. Well, it really has been a grey and often fairly wet day for many of us today. Still some fairly heavy bursts of rain around now, but the rain is moving slowly southwards, and that's going to allow clearer but much colder weather to come down from the north with a frost. Tomorrow, though, promises to be a much better day. The last of the cloud clearing away from the south, and then we can all expect to see some sunshine, just one or two showers in the north and the east. But for tonight, still some heavy rain around just now. It is moving away southwards, and as the clear weather comes on behind, temperatures really taking a tumble. There'll be a touch of frost right across northern England, down in towards the Midlands, and some icy patches on the roads, with temperatures getting down to around -3 in places. Even in the Midlands and the southeast there, where the temperature's around 1 degree, there could just be a touch of frost on the ground there too. Tomorrow, though, a much better day than today. The last of the clouds still lingering in southern counties, but moving off before too long. And then, as the sunshine comes out, most of us staying dry. Just 1 or 2 showers coming down on the east coast there. Most places dry, but certainly colder than it's been today. Temperatures on the eastern side only around 3 or 4 in those fresh winds. Down in the southwest, 7, and that's around 45. Brighter, but colder. Good night.
Power Gen. Power for homes and industry, whatever the weather.
Good evening. After months of speculation, the Parker Bowles marriage is now ending in divorce. Tomorrow, GMTV asks you, should Prince Charles now seek freedom to marry his mistress? And like his uncle before him, should he have to sacrifice the throne for the sake of the woman he loved? GMTV tomorrow. Chin chin.
Mary Nightingale rounds up the news in London tonight next. And at 10:40, a network-first investigation into UFOs.
Now there's a new force to relieve all your cold and flu symptoms. New Nurofen Cold and Flu.
Slow down, little less gas. Watch your bend.
Enemies now at Bravo.
Get
Drop
off
off
the
Charlie.
Turn the light. Get through the trees, go left. Dead ahead. Right.
Mars has got it all. Milk, glucose, malt, and thick, thick chocolate. Have you got the taste for it?
A Rover 214 SEI with 7-spoke alloy wheels, electric front windows, remote control alarm, sports seats with Silverstone leather trim from just £11,635. How do they do it? These are natural, healthy teeth. These are a partial denture. Cleaning a denture with toothpaste alone can leave behind plaque and bacteria. And that bacteria could affect the gums of your neighbouring teeth. Sorry. A daily 10-minute soak in Sterident kills the bacteria on your denture, so helping you keep your gums healthy. Sterident keeps dentures clean, helps keep gums happy.
The Daily Mirror is going to make some lucky reader a millionaire. Here it is, tax-free, and it could be yours. Don't miss tomorrow's Daily Mirror. I can't wait to meet you.
Come on, chaps. Bravo!
If you're wise enough to insure your car with Guardian Direct, you could save money by dealing with us direct. And we'll help you sort out your claim there and then. Which means things get put right as swiftly as possible.
How's that?
Call Guardian Direct on 0800 282820.
Philips has invented the ultimate compact disc player, CDI. It doesn't just play music, it also plays movies. And sounds you can see. It takes games into whole new worlds. Philips CDI, one player, countless opportunities. Philips invents for you.
Crystal Palace, Millwall and Arsenal carry the London Hopes in the Coca-Cola quarter-finals. Catch the highlights in Carlton Sport tomorrow at 10:40.
Good evening, I'm Mary Nightingale. This is London Tonight. First this evening, the Health Secretary Virginia Bottomley threatened tonight to break up the London ambulance service if it failed to improve performance. Speaking on London Tonight, she warned both unions and management that they had one last chance to work together in the interests of patients. Marcus Powell has the story.
London's ambulance service is a shambles in need of a radical management overhaul to ensure ambulances get to their patients within target times, according to a highly critical report published this afternoon. Health Secretary Virginia Bottomley wants the service to become a self-governing NHS trust to improve the management. But she issued this ultimatum.
It is frankly the last chance for the London Ambulance Service, and if they fail to deliver on this occasion, then we'd have to think of a very different alternative of breaking the service up and devolving it to the local areas. I don't want to do that. I want to back their wish to be one service, a good, strong trust. But if that's the case, management and unions have got to work together in the interests of patients.
There's a lot to do. Nasima Begum died after a 53-minute wait for an ambulance, called 4 times by her family. Her death prompted the report and revealed that Londoners still don't get the service a capital city deserves, or a service as good as in other parts of the country.
The report presents a damning indictment of the London Ambulance Service. It highlights management weaknesses, poor staff training, above-average absenteeism through sickness, very bad staff distribution and virtually a complete lack of modern technology. The only good news is things are getting better, slowly.
We all share the main objective, which is we want to provide an excellent ambulance service for London. And working together, we can carry through these recommendations and bring about a vastly improved service.
To ensure that happens, there are over 40 separate recommendations for a radical shake-up of management procedures and staff cooperation, all to be carefully monitored and carried out to a strict timetable. Ambulances should arrive within 14 minutes of being called, but more than 25% still don't. This emergency is one the service must tackle immediately. In central London, this is Marcus Powell for London Tonight.
A Bedfordshire couple today made an emotional appeal to help catch the killer of their murdered Swiss au pair. Shoshita Youngblood's body was found on Sunday. Louise Bevan reports.
The couple who hired the Swiss au pair girl told a crowded news conference today that she'd become like a daughter to them since moving in to look after their 2 small children 8 weeks ago. It was Shoshita Youngblood's first au pairing job. The 20-year-old was a trained hairdresser and had come to England to improve her English. The couple last saw her when they gave her a lift to Ritz's nightclub in Dunstable at 9:30 on Saturday night. Her partly clothed body was found 12 hours later on Sunday morning in these playing fields less than half a mile away.
She never really was frightened. I think she always thought it never ever happened to her, nothing ever will happen to her. I was talking to her about things could happen, and she was quite happy going to a disco by herself. She was not worried about that.
Police today displayed items of clothing very similar to those the au pair was wearing on Saturday night.
We're obviously asking anyone who saw the murdered girl to come forward and tell us the circumstances in which they saw her, whether they bought her a drink, danced with her, or saw her leaving the premises with anyone.
Detectives are also studying security camera footage from the nightclub in the hope of spotting her in the company of somebody as she left. But with more than 900 people here on Saturday, it could be a lengthy process. In Dunstable, this is Louise Bevan for London Tonight.
1,300 patients of a North London dentist who died after contracting AIDS are being offered HIV tests. Vikram Advani died 15 months ago. Angus Scott reports.
The action by the health authority comes more than a year after Vikram Advani's death. The first it knew the dentist had died from an AIDS-related illness was when it was exposed by the press in November 1993. Now, only 14 months on, has it sent 1,300 letters out to Mr. Advani's former patients, warning them there is a chance they may be infected.
I don't think anyone here had the slightest notion that he was not a perfectly ordinary, straight kind of guy.
But the authority defends its delay in advising patients of Mr. Advani's illness.
I can recognise that it does seem a long time. It was a very, very difficult, finely balanced decision as to whether or not a look-back should go ahead in this particular case. I can assure you it wasn't caused by us sitting on our hands doing nothing.
General Dental Council rules prevent dentists working if they're known to be HIV positive, but that's something Mr. Advani blatantly ignored. When Mr. Advani learned that he was HIV positive, he was also told to quit the National Health Service. That was in 1991. But 18 months later, in June 1993, he was still working here at his private practice in Kensington. And there was no one to check he hadn't given up. Patients will also question why it's taken so long for them to be warned of Mr. Advani's illness. In Kensington, this is Angus Scott for London Tonight.
And the number former patients should ring is 0800 374 135. That's 0800 374 135. The governors of a primary school in Tottenham in North London voted to close it down tonight. Tiverton School will remain closed until Haringey Council agrees to pay for repairs to the dilapidated building. And that's it for tonight. We're back tomorrow morning with bulletins in GMTV from 6:15. Join us then if you can. Good night.
Hello, good evening. Well, the rest of Britain may be in for a frosty night, but here in the southeast it's going to take several hours yet before the cloud and rain finally drift off to the south. Later in the night, the last of the rain just lingering in southern counties there. For most of our region, dry by then, and fairly chilly in the north, down to around 3, but only the slightest touch of ground frost. A harder frost to come tomorrow night. But tomorrow itself will be a much brighter day than we saw today. Quite a lot of sunshine around, quite a chilly start to the day, and with the winds coming down from the north, it's going to feel cold right through the day, but there will be some sunshine around, a vast improvement on today. During the afternoon, temperatures limping up to around 6 at best, but if you're out in the wind, it will feel very cold indeed, I think, particularly on the eastern side of the region. But some sunshine, a dry day, but cold again tomorrow night. Here's a summary.
Twisting and turning. The threads of a mystery are coming together.
One of the witnesses said he thinks the guy pushing drugs at the party was a cabbie.
Was she dead before he'd been dumped in the river?
Almost certainly. In Search of a Breakthrough, Taggart, a new series tomorrow at 9 on Carlton.
Now, the mystery of UFO sightings in this week's Network First.